Hi, I'm Brooke from Start at Home, and today I'm going to show you how to refinish a tabletop. This table was in bad shape, but the top is solid wood, making it the perfect candidate to refinish. I like to use an orbital sander to sand down tabletops. I start with 80 grit sandpaper and sand with the grain of the wood. With the 80 grit sandpaper, my goal is to get all of the old stain off. However, you do want to be careful not to sand one place too much, as it can cause a dip in your tabletop. I try to use long, even strokes to avoid that. Once you have sanded everywhere you can with a sander, it is time to pull out the sandpaper to get in the small cracks. In order to get an even stained tabletop, you want to make sure to get all of the top coat and stain off. Next, I sand everything down with 220 grit sandpaper. This will remove any scratches that were created from sanding with an 80 grit sandpaper. It will also make the tabletop nice and smooth. Now that everything is sanded down, wipe all the dust off and it is time for stain. To stain, I used Minwax's Penetrating Stain in Dark Walnut. This stain is going to sink down into the wood to really show off the grain. I like to apply my stain with a sponge brush and wipe the excess off with an old rag. When applying your stain, you want to paint with the grain of the wood. Once everything is stained, allow 24 hours for the stain to dry. Sometimes stain can cause your wood grain to rise. I sand everything down with 220 grit sandpaper to ensure everything is nice and smooth. Once it is sanded down, use a rag and make sure all of the dust is off. This is very important as our next step is the top coat and we don't want dust under our top coat. I like to use a top coat in a spray can because it is easier and I can get a nice even finish. I'm using a water-based polyurethane to spray this table. When spraying a top coat, you want to make sure you are using long, even coats with the grain of the wood. I usually give my tables at least 4 coats.